Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at something that I find really interesting and fun. It's one of those things that I use every day, so it's just a really useful tool for me, and there's a few reasons why I actually really like this. So first of all, the reason I chose this is because it's made with non-toxic glues, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, that's what it says on their website. It doesn't specifically say on their website that it doesn't contain formaldehyde. I'm not completely sure about that, but at least they say it's non-toxic. That's about as good as I could find, because there just aren't many choices, especially in the UK. There are not many choices of chopping boards made without toxic glues. The other reason I like this is it's really, really lightweight. At first I thought, when I was looking at chopping boards, I thought it'd be great to have a really, really big one. But then I thought, you know what, actually, a small one like this is gonna be cheaper and it's gonna be easier to wash. And then also easier to take it up, put the food into the pan. Don't you hate it when people in videos say something is lightweight and they don't tell you how lightweight it is? 463 grams. So this is made from bamboo, which as far as I know is more sustainable, which I think is good. And I actually really, really like the look of this. I love the stripes. I love the color of this. Now the color, as you can see, there's a color difference between there and there. And that's because when you use this or when you oil this, which I'll explain in a second, the color changes. For example, here you can see that I recently used this probably about 20 minutes ago. So you can see, for example, there a slight wet spot, which is still left over from the food. And here a slight area in the middle where it's not quite as brown, and that's just because the oil has come out. And you basically want to oil this once in a while, and I'll explain that in a second. So we also have a hole here for hanging it up on something that will allow it to drip rather than allow water to sort of gather at the bottom. Wood, especially one like this that isn't treated with chemicals and varnishes and stuff like that, it's wood. I mean, yeah, it's bamboo, but it's still kind of wood, so it will collect moisture, which you don't want. But what I really like about this is that even though I forgot it with food on it and wet overnight quite a few times, I would say at least 30 times, it has never been sort of ruined or damaged or anything like that or warped. So it seems to hold up really, really well to getting wet and stuff. But I would say obviously the drier you keep it, the longer it's going to last. Now, the way that you want to protect this from moisture and just keep it looking really, really nice is to oil it once in a while, and also once before you actually start using it. And you want to use walnut oil, not a different kind of food oil, not something that you get at the hardware store. You want to use walnut oil. This is the only thing that I know of that is both completely safe to eat. You can literally buy this at the supermarket, and also is an oil that you can use on wood to protect it, which doesn't go rancid, because if you put olive oil or something like that as a treatment on this, then after a while it will go rancid. So walnut oil, and it's not expensive. I think this bottle cost about £1 or something like that. Put it on there, just cover it completely in oil, go over the edges. Now, if you do this with your hands, in theory, you could get a splinter, I guess. I mean, that's never happened to me. And so after the first oiling, this will go kind of a nice brownish, and then it will be shiny for about a day. It will be kind of shiny-ish. The reason I actually started looking for this was I went to buy one at the local store, at the supermarket. I went to the cooking section, and it reeked of glue. I didn't even have to put it to my face. I just held it in my hand. It was possibly a mix of glue and varnish and I don't know what. And this online from Amazon cost about £7 more than the one at Sainsbury's. So I'm fine with that. I got a better product in my opinion. You just oil it like this, and then you leave it for about 20 minutes. And then wipe off the excess. You don't want to scrub it dry. Just wipe off the excess and then just leave it overnight with a tiny bit of oil still on that. And then that tiny bit will still soak it in. You could also leave it completely soaked like this and just leave it overnight. So I would say do this about once every month, or whenever you see that it's kind of needing a bit of oil, you'll see the color change a little bit like I showed you earlier. I really love it. It's just one of those things, I love tools. You can see there, I'm learning to sew as well. I love things that are useful to me, that are giving me the ability to do more stuff or be quicker. Quality-wise, it's been holding up really, really well. So, I've been using a really sharp knife on it, and there's only a few marks on this. I've been using this quite a lot every single day, and I also eat on this. I just use this as my plate just because I want to minimize on having to wash stuff. I wouldn't put hot food on this because I don't know what that's going to do to the wood, but if I'm having some cold food, I just have it on here just because, I don't know, it looks nice and it feels kind of natural. So there are a few small scratches on this, but actually they're really, really thin, and I can't even feel them if I move my finger across it. And that is saying something, because the human finger can feel things that are incredibly tiny. Actually, I read about this recently. Scientists found out the tiniest thing that humans can feel, and it was a few microns thick or something like that. So really tiny things you can feel, and I cannot feel any scratches there. So this is daily use for a few months and it's still looking absolutely fantastic. And the size I got here is the medium, I think. Cleaning this, it is really nice and easy. Even if I forgot some food on it overnight, like avocado or something, it's still nice and easy to clean, not a problem. And then obviously it's wood, so don't leave it to soak. You just wash it and then dry it. I wipe it off with a towel. Now, the first time you oil this, you might notice some fibers of the bamboo coming off. And once again, I'm guessing because it's a product that's not been treated with harsh chemicals, it wasn't a problem. They just sort of fell off on their own and it just was never an issue again. That does bring up the question of why do chopping board manufacturers use glue at all? Why don't they just use one piece of wood? It has a few reasons. First of all, cost, but also because a single piece of wood, especially if you want it to be thin, will warp over time and will warp with moisture, so it'll, you know, sort of do this sort of thing. So my conclusion about this is that I'm extremely happy with it, and if you want to support this channel, then you can get yours from the links down below. And by the way, if you're into fun cooking stuff, then check out my review about this really cool looking knife that's not a kitchen knife, but actually has been working really well as a kitchen knife. And actually the reason I went for this is just because I got it for free for winning a photo competition. So thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!